What's going on, y'all? My name's Rob. Welcome back to the Kentucky Chew. Alright folks, welcome back. Appreciate you all tuning in. On this video, we're going to be going through the Budget Bourbon Brawl. If you missed the last video, which was the first few rounds of this first round, go back and check that one out. We'll drop the link in this video, but we're still working through the first round, and we have 4 more whiskeys to try, 2 more blinds, and let's see what they are. Alright folks, here's what we got. We got the Jim Beam Double Oak, twice barreled, coming out of Jim Beam, going up against the Old Forester 100. Pretty excited about this one for a few reasons. One, I've not ever had either one of these. I've had numerous Old Forester products, quite a few Jim Beam products, but honestly not that many. I'm actually starting to learn about a lot more of the products that they do put out and the different types of whiskeys and bourbons that they have. So very intrigued by this one. Excited to see how it compares or lines up with some of the other popular double oak variations that are out here for us to enjoy. And then Old Forester, obviously a personal favorite of mine. You've probably noticed that on the channel so far if you've watched any of the other releases that we put out. So yeah, putting these head to head blind, let's see how they do. All right, this one has a really good nose, really nice fruit forward flavors. Yeah, that smells good. It's got a pretty decent oak scent, but not overpowering. Definitely a lot of sweetness, a lot of fruit, almost like a banana foster, like a creamy type banana scent. Not sure if that makes sense, but that's what I'm getting. Yeah, really good nose. Let's go in for the taste. Happy chewing. Alright, so the taste matches up really well with the nose that I was getting. That's not always the case. I've had a lot of instances where I'll sniff a whiskey, it's got a really inviting nose, and then you taste it, sometimes it'll fall flat or just doesn't quite line up with what you were picking up in the smell. But this one is like really spot on. Really nice, sweet forward nose. The taste immediately was getting kind of a sweet flavor on the front end, not picking up a lot of heat. I forgot to mention Jim Beam Double Oak is 86 proof. The Old Forester 100, obviously 100 proof. Pretty noticeable difference in the proofs here, but with the Double Oak should have a little bit of a oakier profile, so sometimes that can drink like a higher proof. So that's why I kind of compared these two just to see how they would match up against each other. But this one I'm tasting first, I'm really impressed with. I'm really liking this one. I'm digging it. I'm gonna give it one more sip. Yeah, that's nice. That's well-rounded, nice sweet oak flavor, no burn, goes down easy, well-rounded, nice finish, doesn't just disappear once you swallow. And so I'm really impressed with that one. All right, let's see how this one matches up. A little bit oakier nose compared to the first one, but not just oak, like kind of has just a wood scent too with it. I do get like an oak smell, but there's also a little bit of just like wood in general scent that I'm getting. Pretty good nose though, very different, but I do like it. Okay, let's give it a little swirl. Wow, very different products. That's what we love about whiskey, right? Man, there's just so many different variations out there, so many things to choose from. That's pretty good too. That's nice. Let me give it another sip. Okay, so it's got some vanillas, got a little bit of that oak flavor that you look for. Pretty well rounded. Definitely not packing like a lot of heat. Not getting any kind of alcohol burn or anything like that. Just like a nice, smooth, well-rounded finish. I will say the finish is kind of light. This one does leave a little bit quicker. The flavors disappear faster compared to the first one that I tried, but overall pretty good product. Again, would not be mad about either one of these, especially at the price point. I want to say both these ones, someone can correct me in the comment section, I'm pretty sure both of these are under $30. Yeah, that's nice. Here's what I'll say about these two before we figure out what the winner is. Anybody new into drinking bourbon, I've had a few people comment on the channel that they're beginning their collection, they're getting into tasting. I would recommend both of these. I mean, it blows my mind that I've been collecting and enjoying bourbon for about 5 to 6 years now, and I've never had either one of these products. I love Old Forester. If you come look at my collection, that is very obvious. The fact that I can get this product for that low of a price point, that's encouraging. That's nice to see, you know, like we've talked about on this channel, the prices of things are just crazy these days. New releases are wild, celebrity products, I mean, and some of it just does not deserve that price point. But either one of these, I'm going to say that before I figure out what the winner is, because truly I am pretty impressed with this so far. Very good. I'm going to go back to the first one real quick. Oh man, so going back and forth, now that the palate's warmed up, this just has a really good nose. Nose-wise, this is better. I'm going to go ahead and say that. Just has a wonderful banana scent to it. All right, I'm not going to let the anticipation build any longer. I know what the winner is. I know which one I think's better. I'm going to go with this first glass here, and it is Old Forester 100. I'm not shocked. I've said it multiple times already on this video. I love Old Forester. Full transparency with you all, I am doing this blind, but I was leaning towards thinking that this was the Old Forester one. What I do like about that, what I want to let you all know is I love the Old Forester 1910. That product's going to come in around $50, $55. And to me, I'm not comparing those two, like the Old Forester 100 with the Old Forester 1910 right now, but I think I can confidently say those are pretty close in profiles. I remember the very first time I tried Old Forester 1910, and I immediately got a note of banana. If you get banana notes when you're drinking an Old Forester product, drop me a comment, let me know I'm not crazy, and I love that. It's so good, it's unique, it's interesting, really just enjoy what they do. I was getting that scent on there, as I noted, and so I was thinking that probably was it, but look, not mad about either one of those. When these are gone, I'm probably going to go get another. If you're getting into whiskey, pick one of these up. Definitely give these both a stamp of approval. Old Forester 100 is going to move on. What I'll say about the Jim Beam Double Oak, that's pretty good. Now, I do think the Woodford's probably better. Not everybody knows this, but Old Forester 1910 is also a double oak product. It's very good. That's nice. I like that. Coming out of Jim Beam, a historic distillery, a big name in the industry. If you haven't given this a try yet, I do recommend it. Go give it a swirl. All right, now we got our next line up here. Again, this is all still part of the first round. We're getting through the first few battles of the first round, and we got a few heavy hitters right here. Old Grandad coming in at 114 proof. This is a pretty standard whiskey. It's actually something that I personally have never had. I've walked past it hundreds of times on the shelf. And here's what I'll say about this. Anyone that's getting into, like I said, collecting whiskey, trying bourbon and stuff like that, if you can get something at a pretty good higher proof point, right? So this is 114 proof for a low price and it's good, that's a good value. I look at that as a good value because, you know, as the proof goes up, generally that's going to pack a little bit more heat, a little bit more of a punch, as I like to say. You know, like when you get into the Elijah Craig barrel proofs that are at 130 proof, they're delicious, but you got to work your way up to that. I don't care what anyone says. If you get started into doing this hobby, you're not going to enjoy that the very first time you drink it. I seriously would doubt that. So, you know, this isn't going to be like entry level for you to taste, but this would be a good one to work up to if it's good. Again, I've never had either one of these products. It's a shock to me that it's taken this long for me to try stuff like this, but excited to do so. On the other side here, going up against the Old Grandad, is the Wild Turkey 101. Everyone's probably heard of this, everyone but me until about a few years ago. If you Google any kind of budget bourbon, anything like with value in whiskey, I don't know anyone that doesn't have this in their like top 5, maybe even top 3. People love this stuff. They go crazy for it. The value-wise, I think it's closer to the $20 mark than it is the $30 mark. And if it is that good, it's going to be on my list too. But I've never had it, so let's find out. Okay, pretty light on the nose. I feel like I'm having to kind of search for the notes. Kind of having to search for the notes here. A little bit of cherry. Let's go in for the chew. Oh, that was a little hot. I think I was still getting some cherry. I don't know why I'm stuck on that, but I definitely had a heat at the finish. All right, so like the nose was a little light. I'm surprised with how hot the finish was based on what I was getting on the nose. Like starts off pretty good, and I'm not saying it ends poorly. It just packed a lot more heat than I was expecting based off the nose and the taste. Overall, getting just that traditional Kentucky whiskey product with it, decently well-rounded, getting some of that like a cherry note with it, some oak flavors, a little bit of like just a spice, but not like a rye spice, just like a almost like a cinnamon spice. That's what I'll go with. Just slightly, not overpowering, but just slightly of like a cinnamon spice heat with it. Gonna move on to the other one over here. Comparing the two, this nose is a bit sweeter. Oh, if you take a really big breath, really inhale deeply, you definitely get some vanilla in that. Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. I like the nose on this one. Okay. I'm gonna say this. Y'all let me know if I'm crazy or not. Sometimes a note I pick up, a taste I pick up in a whiskey is like hay. And I don't know if this is because of like how I grew up. So I did grow up on a farm, was around hay a lot growing up. That's a pretty common thing here in Kentucky. I swear I get like a hay note sometimes in whiskey products. I heard a term for the first time this year, the Kentucky hug. I don't quite know what that means. I don't necessarily know what people are getting at with that. I assume it means a little bit of like a heat type thing. So I don't know if those two things go together, but like I feel like what I'm tasting here is what people mean when they say the Kentucky hug. Either way, I like it. It's catchy, so we're gonna go with it. I like that. That is very well rounded. I do pick up a little bit of like hay or like earthy type flavor with it. I've said that before. Someone out there probably has a better term for it than what I'm coming up with. But like the nose is light. It's good though. You will get a little bit of vanilla. You will get a little bit of oak. The traditional stuff you're hoping and looking for in a whiskey product. The taste matches the nose. Not overpowering. Very well rounded. I do like that. And the finish comes through strong too. Overall, very well rounded. Really enjoying that one. I'm going to go back to the first one here just to compare, see if we get anything different. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Cherry like hot cinnamon. That's what I'm getting with this. Not mad about it. That's what I'm getting though. And then the heat just really kicks in. I don't dislike that. I've tasted a lot of whiskeys, a lot of bourbons, and so I like heat. I enjoy heat. I'm okay with that. I like rye, so it doesn't bother me. It's just, for me, the nose and the taste and finish do not match up. You know, we've got 114 over here, 101 over here. Either one, I wouldn't think it would taste quite that hot, and for that reason, I'm gonna go with this glass here. It's not that I dislike this other one, it's just I feel like this is a very well-rounded product. I just really enjoy it. I could see me sitting around a bonfire with the fellas, got some good old country music on, and we're just sipping on this product here. So this is, okay, you guessed it probably, Wild Turkey 101. So everyone must have been onto something. I don't know why it took so long for me to try this bottle. Very happy that I've picked it up. This gets the stamp of approval from me. The Kentucky Chew does like this one. This is a very well-rounded product. Go get you one of these bottles and give it a try. All right, folks, and there we have it for this episode. This is we're still moving through round one. Old Forester, Wild Turkey 101 are moving ahead as we try to find out what is the best budget bourbon that we can all go get and hopefully get our hands on. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Till next time, happy chewing.